Okay, hello and welcome to South Hills Community Wellness. My name is Jacqueline Battaglia.
And I'm Laura Velasic.
Our goal and mission was to provide a place that people could go to gain access to knowledge from people in their own community to create balance in their lives. A place where people could turn to learn, connect, and collaborate on a variety of personal development, health, and wellness topics. For those of you who are new to the group, welcome. We do have a disclaimer. We have a mutual agreement between our speakers and our members that these workshops are strictly to share knowledge, value, and to connect with like-minded people. South Hills Community Wellness does not agree or disagree with the content presented, nor are we promoting a service or a product. These Zoom conferences will be recorded. Therefore, if you would like to remain anonymous, you have the option to disconnect your camera and audio on the control panel by your name. These are also meant to be interactive, so please share stories, ideas, suggestions with the group during these presentations. Ask questions. All we ask is that when we share, we keep each comment and or question to about a minute to allow everyone an opportunity to be a part of the discussion. Also, we will keep you guys on mute, but if you would like to ask a question, just unmute yourselves and feel free to ask. Thank you for being with us tonight. We know how valuable your time is. Tonight, we are pleased to welcome Kelsey Curry. Kelsey has been a Norwex independent sales consultant for over 2 years. She is currently a sales leader with the company, which has been around for over 25 years. She resides in Moon Township with her husband and 3 children. Kelsey is passionate about helping people create a safe haven for themselves and their families, reducing exposure to harmful chemicals, and in turn, creating a healthier lifestyle. So welcome, Kelsey.
Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well. It's been a pretty interesting situation for all of us being in quarantine right now. So whether you are feeling really positive and pumped about it, or if you feel a little tired and worn down like myself, I welcome you. I'm here to talk to you about green cleaning and trying to get some of those harmful chemicals, and really all of those harmful chemicals, out of your homes. And that's such an important thing right now, especially with what we're dealing with right now with this virus, and so many people having heightened awareness about hygiene, personal hygiene, cleaning products, and things like that. And we're actually hearing of a lot of spikes of people who are actually having to call poison control and things like that for their children who have become more exposed to chemicals. They're getting a hold of more and more chemicals because everyone has been purchasing probably more chemicals now than they've ever done before, right? Because everyone is panicking, right? Everyone wants to make sure I have enough cleaning supplies to clean my home. Well, now we're finding that more people are actually finding them harmful and damaging just because of those immediate effects. And not only that, but if you think about it too, the long-term effects are what we're also seeing. So think about later down the road, 10, 20, 25 years from now, I'm kind of anxious to see, and I hope that I'm wrong, but I'm kind of anxious to see if all of this exposure that we're having right now with this global pandemic is going to pan out into anything that turns into something more harmful for us as just a human race. So I'm excited to share with you a company that has been working chemical-free for over 25 years, and that's Norwex. And so Norwex stands for the Norwegian experience. It actually originated in Norway, and if you know anything about Norway, they get clean. Okay, they get it, they understand it, and they are able to kind of lead the way in terms of environmental safety and health for not only our bodies, but also for Mother Earth, right? So we are really excited with Norwex. And like Jackie had mentioned, I am a sales leader with Norwex. I've been with the company for a little over 2 years. And I just started out as a mom who figured, hey, yeah, I'll try this stuff out. I was hosting a party for a friend of mine, and I figured, why not? I'm going to get some free stuff out of it, so I'm not losing out on anything. I invited some friends and family over and had a little party. And little did I know that just a few short weeks later, when I received that big box of free stuff on my front porch, that I was so in love with this stuff. Let me just tell you, I ran next door to my neighbor's home. He is a single father of 2 little boys. And I was cleaning his front window and his front door just because I was impressed with it and needed to share it with someone. So it was that good. So when I was finished, he looked at me and he said, I think maybe you should sell this stuff. And so I decided to walk home, and I called my friend and I said, okay, chat to me about this. And so because I love this stuff so much, and because it was so meaningful for myself, I figured, you know what, this is the thing for me. I'm able to earn an income for my family, which is, great and all, but this is a mission with a meaning. And that's what's most important. And so I've always kind of felt like cancer was coming for me. My mother is a 2-time breast cancer survivor. She had a double mastectomy last year. My father died of pancreatic cancer when I was 11. And that's not even counting the aunts and uncles and grandparents who have had cancer along the way as well. And so I've kind of always felt like I'm predestined. And so this is my attempt, and this is my way of trying to keep not only myself healthier and safer, but also my family. I've got a 5-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old son, and a 1-year-old daughter. And so with all of that, and welcome to those of you who are joining us, I really find that it's important that I'm able to try to do what I can to keep my family safe. And so this is the number one way that I'm trying to do this. And so I actually quit cold turkey, I like to say. I dumped out my chemicals, I ditched them, threw them all out the minute that I got my box of Norwex. And I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this way of life. And so this really has become a lifestyle change in my home. And my kids love cleaning with it, which is even more awesome because, that's like free child labor, right? So I can get my kids to help me out and clean, and they enjoy it. They think it's fun because their kids' products have fun colors and prints, and so they can use them too. But let's talk a little bit about what Norwex is all about. So Norwex actually prides itself in microfiber. And if you know anything about microfiber is wonderful to clean with. But Norwex microfiber is superior for a couple of reasons. The first of which is, in order for microfiber to carry that name of microfiber, it has to be at least 1/6 the split of a human hair. Ours is 1/200th the split of a human hair. That is some very, very delicate fiber, okay? And in addition to that, it's also star-shaped. And so when you take that star-shaped fiber and you run it against a surface, in between those star shapes, you're able to hold on to the grease, the grime, the dirt, all the stuff that you don't want on a surface, and it's trapped deep within that cloth. And the great thing about it is, this one cloth, okay, this is our Enviro cloth. This is the cloth that started it all. I even pulled out the little red one because this is the actual color of the first cloth that Norwex ever made. In this one cloth, if I were to pull and pull and pull, the fiber in just this one cloth would reach from Canada to the Gulf of Mexico. That is how very densely woven and high quality that cloth is. If you hold it up to a light, you're not going to see through it. It's not something that's flimsy. It is a quality cloth. And so this is going to last you for a long time. So I just fold that twice. I use it damp in order to make sure that I'm removing up to 99% of bacteria with only this cloth and water. No cleaners necessary, no bleach, no harmful chemicals, no fumes, no volatile organic compounds needed. We're just using a cloth and water to remove up to 99% of bacteria. Now, let me tell you, that one of the other things that's so great about this is that we have something called backlock. Now, that is strictly Norwex only. No one else has backlock. And backlock is actually liquid silver that is embedded within this fiber. Embedded. It ain't going anywhere. You can't wear it out, wash it out, nothing like that. It is in there for good. And what that does is, silver is a natural antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial. So when I'm done using this, I rinse it with hot water, rubbing it against itself just to kind of create an opportunity for all the gunk in there to come out. When I'm done, I wring it out and I use this loop that's on it to hang it. As it dries, this thing self-purifies. The silver actually breaks down the cell walls, allowing there to be no bacteria for it to feed on in order for it to multiply. So when next time I reach for this cloth, it's not a musty, crusty, smelly, gross cloth that I just cleaned with. It's a clean cloth and it's ready to be used. And so I don't know about you, but I don't have a whole lot of time for laundry. Okay. So not only do I not have time for cleaning, I don't have time for laundry. And so if I don't have to wash this for a couple of weeks, which is usually how long I go, about 2.5 to 3 weeks, yeah, right? And all I'm using is water. I don't have to worry about anything lugging around the house with me in terms of cleaners. So I do want to talk to you for just a brief moment about what you might be using right now in your home. A lot of people right now are using this, and yes, you're going to laugh at me, but I do have it in a plastic bag because I cannot stand the smell that permeates through the plastic. But if you're using disinfectant wipes of any kind, let me tell you that on the back, I would challenge you to take a look at the directions and see if you're even using them correctly. It is a federal law to use these against against what they're actually telling you to use them as. And so if you are a person who thinks you're disinfecting and sanitizing, please know that the back of these containers are telling you that you need to leave your surface visibly soaking wet with the liquid that is in that bottle for 4 straight minutes. When you're finished, you then need to clean it off and then rinse it with potable water in order for it to have been sanitized and disinfected. I don't know anyone who uses wipe after wipe after wipe for 4 straight minutes. And I don't have time for that, right? And not only that, but there's actually proof that we actually use it's a medical grade dusting powder that shows us what bacteria actually does. It mimics bacteria. And what it shows us is that when you're using a cloth like that has that disinfectant on it, you're actually just pushing it around if you're not using it properly. So if you're going from surface to surface, so are your germs and bacteria. And so you don't want to clean like that, right? And you also don't want to leave behind all the chemicals that people think that smell means clean. Smell, no. Clean does not have a smell. Clean has a feel. It has a feel. And that's whenever I'm using a cloth from Norwex, I can feel the difference. There is no residue left behind. There's no slimy or, sticky left behind. It's just clean. And it's wonderful. So I wanted to tell you just a couple of things. We said that this was green cleaning and quarantining. And so I wanted to give you a couple ways that I'm using Norwex in our home all the time, but also right now, even more so for quarantine, because it's difficult for people right now to find special things like paper towels, for instance. This guy right here, this adorable, cute little house, this wire house, it's filled with something called counter cloths. And these are about the size of a Selecta size paper towel. But this bad boy will actually absorb at least a 1/4 cup of liquid in one spill, just one little cloth. And when I'm finished, I can take it over to the sink. I can wring it out and I can rinse it and I can hang it up. And again, that backlock goes to work and helps it to self-purify. And so when I'm finished, I can, reach for a clean cloth and not have to worry about cross-contamination or anything like that. In addition to that, right now, our body cloth, it does the same thing that this one does to a surface and removing 99% of bacteria and all of the smells that go along with it. But it's a softer texture and it's really great for your skin. And I wanted to show you, it's a nice big cloth. It's about the size of a traditional washcloth. But I will tell you that I purposely for this, I left this one dirty from last night. This guy will actually remove all of your makeup with only water. So this is my yesterday's makeup face. But only water needed, no chemicals, no harsh chemicals, no harsh, cleansers or anything like that that are just going to strip the moisture right out of your skin. I use this bad boy head to toe. It's actually reversed the eczema on my son's legs that he had when he was little. And so it's not stripping out the natural moisture that your skin needs, and you're not spending the money on the soaps and all of those kinds of things and cosmetic products. So another really useful tool. And I'm not worried about, oh my goodness, what if I run out of soap? I don't need it, Let's also talk about dusting solutions. There's dusting solutions. There's also something called cleaning paste, gives a little bit of extra oomph if you need it, and a wealth of different cleaners as well. They are all chemical free, which is the main thing. I get a lot of people that are like, well, you said you only needed water. Well, for instance, descaler, mold and mildew remover, odor eliminator, things like that you're going to need throughout your home that are just going to give you a little bit of extra help and assistance. But this cloth will clean over 95% of your home with only water. So I also want to mention about how we take care of all of this, and that's just with our laundry detergents. I also am very, very passionate about dryer sheets. Dryer sheets are huge, huge, huge chemical filled, just awful, awful things. And if I can tell you one thing that you might take away from this, it's to get rid of your dryer sheets. So please, please, please do that. They are filled with chemicals that are meant to stay on your clothing. And so not only are they against your skin all day, but they come in contact with everybody else that you come in contact with throughout your day as well. And so those chemical laden sheets are they're awful, awful, awful for you. One of the biggest components of chemical in dryer sheets is actually a huge cancer causer, pancreatic cancer causer. And I am in no way saying that my father passed away from the use of dryer sheets, but that's what he died of. And so if I can try to get even one thing out of my home, and of course, like I said, I have completely just quit chemicals altogether, but if I can get even just one thing out of my home, you better believe I'm going to do it. And that was where I really would like for people to start. But these are 100% wool. They come in a 3-pack, but the great part about them is the fact that they're great for at least 1,000 loads. So I'm not gonna fool with that much, but it's something that's going to last you. And if you have a wool allergy, you don't have to worry about that. This is actually not going to affect that at all. But it's just getting rid of the fillers, the chemicals, and all of the things that are in your home that could creep up and cause underlying health issues, breathing trouble, asthma, cancers, all different kinds of autoimmune problems. And so it really does start in your home. Within those 4 walls of your home, you spend 80% of your time. That smell that you smell that permeates through that plastic, it's those volatile organic compounds that you're coming in contact with, whether you know it or not. So it might be lurking underneath your sink and your counter, but it's there. And so if you have any questions, I am absolutely happy to answer them. But this is the way that I started off, like I said, for myself and for my family, just eliminating those chemicals and really bringing into the home safer products that in the long run are way, way better and just as effective, if not more effective, because let's face it, most people don't use their cleaning products as they're supposed to be and intended to be used. So I have all the answers if you need them. if you have a question and I don't know the answer, I'll find it for you. But it's something that I truly am passionate about, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here tonight to share it with everyone. If there are questions, like I said, I'm happy to answer them. If you are catching the replay, you can reach out. I will be giving my information to Jackie and to the wellness committee so that they can kind of pass that along as well. But just take this seriously. Just understand that what you're putting yourself in contact with and what you're exposing your family to can be very, very harmful. And there's a really easy fix that will save you time, save you money, save you effort, and in the long run could really save your life. So that's why I'm here.
I can't. Oh, you're muted, Jackie. So if you want to go first, go ahead. Okay. I have too much to say. The very first thing I'm going to say is the dryer sheets. I was just talking to Laura about this. When my daughter she was very young, and she developed this cough all night long. She would cough. And there was nothing wrong with her all day long. She was fine. She would cough all night. And, the doctor said, oh, maybe allergies. And I thought, wonder if it's dust mites. So I was washing her sheets daily or every other day and drying them with a dryer sheet. And it was a 14-year-old girl. I was talking to her mom about it, and she said, you know what? And my daughter she was still in a crib. And she said, my girlfriend is allergic to dryer sheets. Do you use dryer sheets? A 14-year-old. And I was like, yeah. And so I quit using them, and her cough went. So there I was every day thinking, oh, I got to get these sheets clean. Oh, so yeah. But I have the old dryer balls. I don't have the new wool ones. I have the porcupine ones.
Okay, the green ones? Yeah. So I don't have anything personally against the green ones. I just love these ones. I find that they fluff and they tumble really well. And I also love the fact that these ones, because of the material that they're made of, I don't have to give up the option of adding a scent. So a lot of times people will say to me, I don't want to get rid of my dryer sheets because, oh, well, I really like the lavender scent that I have on my towels and the refreshing scent that I have on my clothes. And so I tell them and I challenge them, I say, you can add a couple of drops of your favorite essential oils or blends in the last 5 minutes of the fluff cycle, and it's going to accomplish the same thing for you, but without the harmful chemical cocktail. So it's just an excellent opportunity to just get those, ditch those. And really, you don't want that stuff on your skin. You don't want that coming in contact with everyone else that, like I said, that you come in contact with throughout the day either. So absolutely 100%. I'm glad that you figured that out, especially early on, because my goodness, that could have lasted for a long time. It looks like there's a question about how often you should replace any of the cloths. And so I'm happy to answer that. I will tell you that the majority of our microfiber comes with a 2-year warranty, which is amazing. However, they do, for the most part, last a good bit longer than that. I have plenty of clients who have been using them for years and years. And like I mentioned, that silver is embedded in the fiber. So it's not something that wears off over time or washes out over time. It's something that's actually truly in the fiber, which is great. However, we do recommend a good deep clean about every 8 months or so if you are taking care of them properly and using a true free and clear. We, of course, suggest using our detergent because we can guarantee that it's free and clear. It actually dissolves 100% in water, unlike most detergents, including some free and clears, because they can put some fillers in there and still carry that name. But I will also add that when you're finished with your cloths and you are ready and you've noticed that maybe they aren't working the way that they used to, and maybe they do need to be replaced, they're not really pulling off of, off of a surface like they used to, and maybe those fibers, those star-shaped fibers are filled, and over time, they wear. It's a normal cloth. If you're in that point and you feel like maybe they need to be replaced, Norwex has taken it a step further. In addition to all of the different initiatives that they've taken with trying to keep the environment clean and safe for us, especially with our oceans and water and things like that, they also have a recycling program. So you can actually send your cloths back to Norwex to be recycled so that you're not just tossing them, which again, it's amazing the things that they think of and the things that they are able to accomplish. But when you are ready to replace them at any point, you can of course just send them right back. So Sherry, you said you had a lot to say. What else? What
I
did
do.
you?
I Jackie to talk. I don't want to be the one talking the whole time. First of all, I'll just say that when you said the chemical smell, my sister, when I got my Norwex stuff, she's like, "Oh, I like the smell. It makes me think it's clean." And when you learn about it, and you really know that that's not it. Yeah, and like you said, you get some essential oils, like whatever. I don't know, but yeah. But the other thing is the makeup cloth. I'll just say nothing takes off mascara better than an Norwex cloth on my makeup. It's so fantastic.
I couldn't agree more with you. I did a test when I first started with Norwex because I was really curious. I mean, I for years had been using things like the one-time wipes and things like that. And I actually did a test. I used one of the wipes that I was used to using, and I used it well. Okay. I thought there was nothing left. And then I pulled out a body cloth and I used only water, and I still had makeup residue on that cloth. And I was like, never again. Never again. I'm never using another one of those cloths again. So it goes to show, how much people think that they're cleansing their skin, and it really wasn't even removing all of the makeup. And what else was it leaving behind, And for what? So that chemical could sit on my skin and within 27 seconds get into my bloodstream and head to my brain. I don't think so.
Oh. And no more questions? What else?
Do you get a lot of questions about like Norwex and the virus? I mean, I don't know if that's something that
I do. And we cannot make any medical claims, nor do we wish to. I will tell you that Norwex has actually tested our window cloth material. The window cloth is our shining cloth, if you will. It is a cloth that is used after the Enviro Cloth. The Enviro Cloth is used to clean, and then that window cloth is actually used to shine. So you can use that on things like mirrors, windows, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, things like that. And when that window cloth was actually used along with a bunch of other cloths that they have, different microfiber textures and such, to see if it would filter out particles of 0.4 microns and larger, which is what they were suggesting with the use of the masks that everyone has been required now to be wearing. And so they actually found that the window cloth was successful in that. It filtered out about 60% of the particles that were 0.4 microns and larger. It wasn't medical grade, so we can't make medical claims. However, for personal use, Norwex is actually manufacturing using that material personal use masks. So they made a huge donation of 1 million masks that were not Norwex masks. I just want to let everybody know that they were just personal use masks for people who were in need of them. But then on top of that, later this month and into early May, they are hoping to release for only $9.99, which is a very affordable price for a reusable mask, personal use mask, a mask that is made out of that window cloth material. And so this company, I can't speak highly enough in terms of when there's a need, the company finds a way to meet that need. And so this is a global need. And Norwex is found in many, many countries around the world. Like I said, it originated in Norway over 25 years ago. So over the years, it has spread, especially within the last few years, just like a wildfire. And so they really had the opportunity and they ran with it, and they're finding that, because it was successful, let's put this into the hands of people who really are in need of it. And so they switched some production up and they're creating those masks. And so, like I said, they should be available. They're going to be available hopefully for consultants at the end of April, and then for the general public at the beginning of May, which is remarkable. So really excited about that, especially with moving forward, how they're suggesting the use of personal use masks, even in that yellow phase that they're describing. And really, you just want to play it safe. And so that's a way for us to do that. And the great thing about it is the fact that they're made out of the window cloth material. They're washable and they have that backlock in them. So they do have that self-purification aspect as well. So I know that as soon as they're available, I'll be ordering them for my family for sure, but definitely also trying to put them into as many hands as I possibly can.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing, and that's exciting to hear that that's going to be available.
Yes, absolutely. And to answer your question, and I'm not sure if I answered it 100%, but because we can't make medical claims, I can't tell you that it rids a surface of the virus. However, I can tell you that it does rid surfaces completely of bacteria, removes, like I said, up to 99.9% of bacteria from a surface. It is all I've been using in my home. I have not changed my cleaning regimen because of this virus and this pandemic. And whenever I have my groceries delivered or whenever I bring my groceries home, I just take myself either this guy on 2 hands, damp, or I use just the Enviro Cloth and water, whatever I have, within reach, fastest. And I just wipe down my groceries and my boxes and everything before I even bring them in the house. And then I kind of don't have to worry about it. So it's been a very easy solution for myself and for my family. And it's kind of funny because my kids are in the mix now. And so they know that when mom's out on the back porch or the front porch, wiping all the groceries down, they stand at the door and they bring them in one by one. And I don't have to worry about putting them in the hands of my kids. I feel confident and feel safe using the products, knowing that I've used them correctly. I've used them as they were meant to be used, unlike some of the disinfectant wipes and things that people are wiping their food down with, which makes me cringe even more. Even just wiping the boxes, you don't want to do that. So just like I said, a cloth and water, it's, again, I can't make a medical claim, but if I trust it, I can tell you that I feel that it's safe. The tests that I have done in terms of with this company and making sure that it does truly remove up to 99% of bacteria with only water. We use restaurant grade protein tests to do so, cleaning things like raw chicken, raw egg, and testing surfaces afterward, and actually even testing the surface of the cloth to make sure that no cross-contamination takes place. And I've done that test hundreds of times, and I can tell you that it does in fact remove. And the thing about protein is I have a lot of people that say to me, well, I don't really care about protein. I care about bacteria. Well, bacteria is actually larger than protein. Protein is smaller than bacteria. If I can eliminate the protein, you better believe that the bacteria is long gone too. So I feel comfortable, like I said, using that. And I can't tell you that Norwex has not, again, made medical claims, and they're not claiming to remove that, to remove the virus, that is. But these have saved me from many a flu season as a kindergarten teacher. And I have maybe on one hand that I can tell you a number of times since I've started with this company that any of our family members have been ill. So I'm not saying that it's a miracle worker by any means, but it certainly has done, miracles for my family for sure.
My sister was saying that this virus is actually, it's a protein that's like the things out are fat. So
Okay.
that's why soap and water works with it. So if the things are getting the protein and stuff, then it's getting in through that fat and getting the protein.
That's
so
amazing.
as long as I understood that right,
Yeah. And truly the biggest thing about it is just, again, using your products correctly. The Enviro Cloth itself, I mean, if you were to hold it in a ball, you can see how few times, just the way that the light's hitting this, how few times this would hit a surface. Using it correctly and folding it in half twice gives this that great surface area right against the surface to just pick up and remove. And so don't get me wrong. I mean, I wipe things down really, really well a couple of times, like I would with any other cleaning product I used to use. But now when I'm finished, I don't have anything left behind. And again, it's safe. I can put this in the hands of my kids, and they love walking around. They always say, "Can we clean your walls?" And I'm like, "What kid says that?" So they ask for my cloths. I give them their kid cloths, and they walk around and they clean all the marks off of my walls. And it's wonderful. And I feel like my children don't know any other way of cleaning. They don't know harsh chemicals. They don't know those because we haven't used them, in years. And when they were, how the age that they were at, I should say, whenever I started, was too young to realize what I was using beforehand. So it's really just, it's a comforting feeling to know that they understand what Norwex is, and they talk to people about it all the time. So they enjoy, spreading the word and the mission, and that's what it's all about.
I love this small.
My kids, oh, sorry, I was showing this little travel guy.
Yes.
Those are that's what I use for my bathroom, because it's not too, I don't like the big, because you're wetting and re-wetting, and, I like that little one that I can work and I can just do my sinks. And
the kid-sized ones are really nice too. It's kind of an in-between between the two of them. And they're nice size that I can hang them on the inside of the door of the cabinets if I'd like to, between uses, which is also great. I let them dry outside so that they're well ventilated and they dry appropriately so that backlock can work. And then I hang them to store inside the cabinet doors, but my doors are too short. So whenever I would use like a regular sized one, it was a little bit off. So I store those ones in there. And so my kids always go in there and they run into the bathroom and grab them. But we were talking earlier about the fact that in my bathroom, I do tend to use the pinks for the potty. So my pink Enviro Cloths are for my bathrooms and for cleaning off my potties and things. But I don't have to worry about cross-contamination, which is great. It's just really a thing for other people's minds. Anybody coming into my home wouldn't have to worry about me wiping up their spill with an Enviro Cloth and them feeling like, did you use that on a toilet? So I don't mind it, but I know a few people who may.
oh, that's funny.
So I tend to use, we were talking about this earlier, an Enviro Cloth wet, like in my bathroom. I'll do my mirror, and then I'll take, I call it the polishing cloth. You said window cloth.
Yeah, so it has just evolved over time. It's still the polishing cloth.
Okay. Yeah, because mine are getting kind of old. But and yeah, I'll do the window cloth, and then I do the same. Like I do it on my sink. I go through with the Enviro Cloth, but then I dry with
Yep.
with that window cloth, just to really make sure everything's, whatever. It just makes me feel better.
Absolutely. And I do the same thing. And also just to make sure that whenever I'm drying for that streak-free finish. There's no residue left behind. There's nothing there. It looks beautiful and sparkly when I walk out. Give it 5 minutes. It might not be sparkling anymore. But for that 5 minutes, it looks good. So I'm happy with it.
I'm glad. I never use my window cloth. It hangs on my door.
Oh my goodness, you got to use it. It's going to change your life.
It's good for stainless. You said you use your other one wet and then wipe it. Okay.
Yes. So I clean effectively with the Enviro Cloth, and then I dry with the window cloth. And so using your Enviro Cloth wet, not soaking wet, just wring it out really good, use it damp. And then using the window cloth dry. Over time, if you're using it on a bunch of different appliances, obviously it's going to get a little damp, but you don't want to wet the window cloth because it's not going to dry as quickly for you. But you'll want to use that, like I said, on glass, on windows, on mirrors. I have a couple of people who have actually told me, not just one, but quite a few people who purchased antique furniture over the years, and had mirrors that had a haze that they were not able to get out with, I mean, anything like the whole vinegar and newspaper trick and all that good stuff, could not get that haze to go away, used the Enviro Cloth and the window cloth, and it was gone, like with no effort. So those are the kinds of stories I can't make up. And those people would tell you the same. But it's really about that super, super fine star-shaped microfiber, just being able to brush off of that surface and truly clean the surface, just remove and strip everything off of that surface that doesn't belong there, really.
Well, I bought glasses that had the anti,
yeah,
and nothing. They were always smeared. Always, I had to have a polishing cloth and just.
yes. Well,
Yeah.
our optic scarf is actually safe for that. The
Laura has
optic
it. Yeah.
cloth, we don't recommend if it has that coating, just because over time that could wear at the coating. But the optic scarf is safe for it. And so that's definitely a must-have in this household, because I have glasses as well. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm wearing my glasses, I can barely see through my glasses because of all of the fingerprints and the marks and the funk that just accumulates on them. And within seconds, it just comes right off. We actually, with that same material, we actually added silicone to the back of it, and you can use that for things like your television and all of your tech equipment, because it's really, really hard. We had a lot of customers, myself being one of them, that would take the optic scarf off of the clip, put it into like a little ball, and like try to clean off their television because it was safe for it. So we actually have a tech cleaning cloth now that is safe and easier to use, much easier.
There's a question. Can you deep clean your cloths too much? I do mine every month, and you mentioned about every 8 months. Did I ruin mine?
No, absolutely not. You can't over clean them. We just recommend that you do it at least every 8 months. That's usually whenever they start to get a little funky. But I'm not sure if you have the microfiber cleaner or laundry booster. That's a new product as of within the last year or so. It used to be that you needed to boil the cloths in order to clean them effectively with a deep clean. But now we actually have a microfiber, which is also a laundry booster. You can use it with any laundry detergent, really. I use it in every load. And it really helps to break down all of the gunk that builds up in the cloth over time. And so with hot water, you can just pour hot water into either a sink basin or even in your washer, and allow them to soak in there with a scoop of that microfiber cleaner. My goodness, the color of that water when you are finished.
I used my pressure cooker.
Yes, I've heard. Jackie actually did the Instant Pot, and was able to clean hers effectively with an Instant Pot. I've seen Instant Pot, I've seen Crock Pot, I've seen just on the stove in a pot of water. I just use my stainless steel sink basin, but really anywhere that you can just kind of stick them in, let them sit, from that really, really hot water temperature all the way until it's cool is usually how long I let mine sit. And then when I take my cloths out of there and I look at that water, for as gross it is so satisfying to know that I have removed all of that from my home. And so I can just pick up the little drain and let it all go down. So it's pretty amazing. And then I just toss mine right into the wash as normal after that, and just make sure that everything comes out. But no, you cannot over clean them or ruin them that way. You're just making sure that they're really clean, and that's okay. We just, like I said, every 6 to 8 months is usually whenever we say is a good time to do that, for sure.
Don't mix your colors though, if you're gonna pressure cook. Have to put darks with darks and lights with lights. Sherry.
My Norwex cloths are now tie-dyed, which I enjoy. I love them.
Oh no.
Pretty.
Well, I always get the question of people that have used their cloths and they use them for really, really dirty jobs all the time and can't seem to get some of the staining out. And I say to them, like, these are cleaning cloths, so it's okay if they're a little dirty. And so sometimes people will be, oh, but I want to get the stains out. And I'm like, well, at least it's not on the product that you were trying to clean. It's okay. So yeah, over time, that deep clean tends to help, unless you pressure cook them altogether.
Yeah. Well, that's me. I threw them all in there. And then like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, why are you sorry? I don't care. They're my cleaning clothes. Like,
Yes,
who sees them, you know? Except
absolutely.
me taking a picture of them and sending them to these two. So
That's amazing, Sherry.
Wow, funny. So if we have any questions, we can put your info and stuff into our chat on Facebook, and you can, we can hop on there and answer any other questions that anybody would have. But we want to thank you, Kelsey, for your showing us how to keep our houses clean tonight.
You're absolutely welcome. I am so, like I said, grateful, appreciative, humbled, honored to be here. A myriad of words and feelings and emotions. It's just, it's really amazing to be able to share it with people who are either like-minded or who maybe just need someone, to tell them. A lot of times it's just the fact that people don't know that they're, using something that could be potentially harmful to themselves or to their families. And just hearing that sometimes is all people need. And really, if I can make the difference in just one person that might see this video, then of course it is absolutely well worth it. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. We really appreciate your time.